and how to lose, and how to choose.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Walking Through Life. Today I happen to have one of my best girlfriends, Roxanne. Hi, Roxanne. How you doing?
Linda. I'm really well.
Good. We're just chilling today, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
We're going to be talking about what you've been up to, and we're going to be talking about your new career choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why don't you start by telling everybody what you've been up to since the last time we saw you?
A lot of big changes. The biggest one in my life is I am a Reiki practitioner, master level, and absolutely loving it.
Now, how did you choose Reiki?
Actually, I think Reiki chose me. I'm thinking it was about 19 years ago. I was diagnosed with a chronic disease that was full of pain, and I'm not going to say what it is because I have actually done Reiki on people with that disease and it hasn't cured. For me, I had been under medical care, on medication, and I was in a lot of pain, and it had debilitated me for sure out of my life. For 2 years I was very unable to do much of anything other than just take care of myself, and at some days I couldn't do that. And a very close friend of mine came over one day and said, "Can I bring a Reiki practitioner in to see if she could help you?" And I had never heard of Reiki before, and I was so desperate that I said absolutely. And that next day, her name was Judy, came over and she did one Reiki treatment on me, and the next morning was the first morning in over 2 years that I had slept through the night, and all my symptoms were gone. And I had done everything before that anybody suggested to get some relief. So for me to wake up, sleeping through the night, and all the symptoms gone, were huge. And to this date, I've had no recurrence. When I went back to see my specialist 6 months later, he asked who had diagnosed me with this illness, and I said, "You did." And he said, "There's no cure." And I was very, very different speaking-wise than I am today. And I didn't have the courage to say, well, God can do anything. And for me, Reiki is the belief of a universal healing, and I choose to call it universal healing or God. And I said then that I was going to learn how to do Reiki. And life got busy and life went on, and I never did. And then when I was on the show with my BRAC 2 gene and all that, there was some Reiki healing there that really boosted me to health-wise, mentally and physically. And I knew then that once I got my knees locked in underneath me and my energy level back, that I was going to take a Reiki course. And I did that. And it is absolutely what I'm supposed to be doing. It's been wonderful.
When you find your purpose, I think that, you know, that's what you work so hard to do, you know? But one of the things I wanted to talk about too, because you've done Reiki on me too, and I think it's important that people understand that Reiki wasn't something that was far-fetched for me. I've heard of it. You know, I had somebody do a little Reiki for me. But I think what really opened me was the talk of chakras when I went to a mental health conference. And they were talking about chakras and Reiki and which chakras connected where and what those mean, the ones in your stomach, the ones in your head.
Right.
So it once again became something that I searched out and opened me up. And when I heard that you were a Reiki practitioner, it was something I'd always had trust in you, and you'd been like a really good buddy of mine. And I says, well, I had no idea what we were going to do the Reiki on, except for I knew that it told me that you thought it might help me. Well, when I got there, I realized that I'd had a great block, mental block. You know, like I couldn't write. I didn't have ideas for my show. I felt depressed. I just didn't know what was wrong with me. And when I went in, you asked me what was one of the things that were bothering you. And I said, I don't know, I just don't feel right. I just don't feel right.
You had that blankness around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And the experience for me was so great with the head and this arm. Now I don't know why, because you did the full body cleansing, but I felt a release when you did the head part. It was kind of like all this negativity and all this crap that was stuffed down in there just went right out. And
Right.
I can remember you asking me at the time to ask the Reiki master of what you would really like, your intention was. And I can remember my intention was to get this block out of me. And as you did the whole body scan, and I don't know why, maybe you can help me with this, but when you got to this arm, there was something that I felt, and I just don't know what it was. It was right here. Maybe you could share what you think that was, that I felt.
Well, before I got to that arm, first of all, for people that don't know what chakras are, because I certainly didn't.
Right.
I didn't know. I had no upbringing or education about this type of healing. I describe it as it's like our electrical panel, and we have chakras down the center of our body. And those tend to, we believe that we don't get sick from the inside, that we bring the sickness into us. And these chakras, when I'm cleansing them, because that's what we have to do, we've got to get all the smudge or whatever you choose to speak of. We need to get those chakras clean. And so that's why I went down the center of you. I go down to about the upper pelvis. And they collect all the stuff that life brings us. And all of our mental attitude, our physical body, Reiki will heal you physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And when all the stuff comes in and we don't know how to balance it, or it just comes in, these things get dirty. And it's like an electrical panel. You know, they're like I sometimes see the old ones that we used to screw in. Sometimes they look like that when I'm doing Reiki. And I have the ability, when I go down the front of you, to clean those. And then I go down around your exterior body. And I just believe that it could have been an artery, it could have been a nerve that got straightened. I never know. All I am is the vessel for this healing. It comes up through my feet, down through my head, and out through my hands. And so I have the ability to be the vessel that cleans these chakras out in the exterior, because like you said, our mind is attached to chakras, and our muscles and our legs, and so I never know. I often can feel it when you feel it, and it's always nice, especially if it's the first few times that somebody has had Reiki, that when we chatted after, that I could say yes, and I felt that too. Sometimes people don't feel anything. That's not very often. So I don't know, but I felt it. I remember it was a huge rush of Reiki able to be flowing into your body after that happened.
That's totally what I felt. Mm-hmm. Totally. And I just couldn't believe how once you released my head, it just kind of, it literally felt like all this stuff just coming, and it was like a wave of, I don't want to say new, but a way of almost reborn to where I was before when I was feeling so good.
I remember that your physical demeanor had changed when you got up off the table.
Mm. Really? When I
Yes.
first got up, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had so much energy after that, though.
Yes.
You know, I was running around doing everything. And so is this common for people that seek out Reiki? You know, I mean, I think I think it was mostly the emotional stuff that I was going through at the time rather than pain. But if this is, my part was emotional pain, then it must be the same sort of thing for physical.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people, a good 95% of the people always speak of how relaxed they are after, and days after, and something shifts. You're in line. It's the tires on the car can get off balance, and the car doesn't run well. Well, what I've learned over the years of doing Reiki is the same thing. When our chakras get dirty and out of line, we don't run well. And it's something that a lot of people are just being able to consider that it's true. And the best way for me to have another follower is to get someone on the table and say, just let me help you. Let me give you the opportunity for you to decide, is this real or not?
Right. And, and I think, too, is from what I've been told and what you've told me, too, is that it doesn't necessarily have to be the one time. That there's so much stuff going on in our life that Reiki can be incorporated. We could do
Absolutely
over and over and over again, because there's always reasons why we need help.
Life doesn't stop happening after we've had one Reiki session.
Exactly.
It's maintenance. I have one gentleman that I hope he will come on the show, was ready to do shock treatments. And one time on my table, he was going to have the shock treatment a few days after that. And it's been about 4 months, I think, and he has not needed to. And he emailed me from work that night of his first session and said, I have not felt this good emotionally in over 20 years. And I'm hoping that he will come on and share their experience. And he's having Reiki once a month to maintain.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that's important. But I also want to make people aware of what you've done in your own life for work, is caring for people. And maybe that's why this Reiki fits for you. It's because you do have that heart, and you do care, and you want to help. So being a healer, I think, isn't by chance, but
Yeah, I believe that I
think
was
you were
made
meant
to do this.
It's a purpose, absolutely.
And it took me a little long to get my side of the street cleaned up, so I was ready to do this.
Right.
But the beauty of it is I've gotten ready.
Right.
And I'm seeing some amazing stuff happen. And it's not me. Again, a lot of people say, look what you did for me. Well, it's not me. I'm the vessel. That's all I am. And I get to watch people get better. It's wonderful.
It's got to be a good feeling.
It's wonderful.
It has to be. Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things you shared with me, too, was that every morning you got up and you went in your canoe and you went down to Wilder Dam.
Right.
And I'll never forget that. It's like she gets up every morning, she goes and gets in the boat, goes out in the water. What happens if the boat turns over? She
Hasn't happened yet. And I don't worry about it.
And you don't let that fear stop you.
No.
Like for me, I would have seen myself letting that fear stop me from getting in that boat.
Well, Reiki isn't just a Reiki school. In order to get to my master Reiki level, I had to take 3 lessons. And at the end of those lessons, we are given an attunement. And it's extremely spiritual. It's very intimate. And something changes that person within. We did a little exercise to see about our energy field with the rods that some people find water with. And we did that before we had the attunement. And after we had our attunements, we did the energy field again. And it at times 5. Something had changed within me. I have a feeling that I get when I'm giving Reiki, and my own personal statement is, I now know what God feels like. It's a wonderful feeling that goes through my body and out through my hands. Sometimes the person on my table can feel it, and sometimes they can't. Now I ground myself, which is a safety factor for myself and for the person on the table, that I don't pick up their energy and they don't get mine. I know how to do that. So we're not crossing. You're not picking anything up from me. This is a very pure healing. I think that's very important for people to know. And so something happens, and when you become a Reiki practitioner, your inner self changes. How you look at things definitely got healthier for me. I am still getting remarks from people that haven't seen me for a while. What have you done? You're so softer.
Right.
Well, my soul is softer, my brain is softer, and that has turned me into a softer person. And I believe that the world needs a whole lot more softness.
I absolutely agree with that, yeah. And this could be so helpful for, I see, you know, I've always been an advocate for people with mental illness, always. And this to me looks like or sounds like it is an alternative to everyday medication or to the drugs that people can get addicted to.
That is right.
So this is why this has always been important to me, and in covering alternative therapies and alternative ways of people getting better, holistic, you know, because it's dealing with everything. And I think that's why Reiki is so important, because it can be helpful to people, not just people like myself or like my husband that have mental illness, but anybody. Depression, blues, physical ailments, whatever it is. Trauma, exactly, and you're so good at that. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that you do offer for the different groups or different types of people.
In my past shows with you, Linda, I've said that I can never give back to all that has been given me since I put down my last drink. And I'm using this gift that I've been given to specifically help cancer patients and veterans. Veterans, I have a very reduced price. And cancer patients, I will accept donations. And if you're in treatment for cancer and you can't afford to donate anything, that is fine. You know, I want to be of assistance to people that are already fighting for their life. It is something that I'm willing to do.
And I think that's great. It speaks a lot about you, you know. But I want to make sure that everybody's aware that this isn't going to be the only show. We've got a lot more coming up from you. The examples of showing what Reiki is, what it does, you know, and actually having a Reiki
I'm going to bring my table and have a live person, and I'll do a little Reiki, and for somebody that doesn't know, and you know, the first time I had it in the privacy of my home, and for somebody that is coming to a room with a table, that alone can make somebody not comfortable. And so I think I would like to give that on the show so people will know exactly what happens.
Absolutely, and I think that's a really good idea, and I think that people would really appreciate that too. But I want to say too is that I've got fans on Facebook on Walking Through Life TV show, and on my own profile, Linda Carbonell. And I want to put because you are going to be coming back and doing many shows, so I want to put it out there to the Facebook fans too. If they have questions for you, or even say the Walking Through Life audience, if they have questions for you, they can leave it on my page, they can leave it on my profile, and actually I'll give you my number that you can call or email me. My email is walklife@comcast.net. My home phone number is 802-295-9999. 0997. And I'd really like the opportunity to hear from you guys and what you would like to ask Roxanne.
Absolutely.
Because like I said, you're going to be coming back many times over. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about having a contest for people in the audience too, for my fans. CATV has donated a couple of t-shirts for me.
Sure.
So I wanted to give one of my fans out there a t-shirt, and there's only one requirement. All you got to do is write on the Facebook or email me which Walking Through Life show, and there's been 500, which one is your favorite. So I'd really like to hear from you on that, or any opinions or anything else that you have about Walking Through Life. But getting back to Roxanne, so we know that you're going to be doing several other shows.
Yes.
What's the content of the next show that you would like to do?
I really think that it's important for people to have a show possibly with questions and answers.
Absolutely.
If they want to put the questions and answers out to you, we could run down a list. That might be something that will help people.
Right, not only that, it's more spontaneous.
Sure.
And, you know, if you're not, you know, and Roxanne's very open, she'd be very open to any
Right.
questions at all.
And if
know
I
it's
don't
hard
have
for
the
people to come
answer,
forward, right.
if I don't have the answer, I will tell you that.
She would, yeah.
And it will give me some homework to do.
Absolutely.
Because I am a great learner that of life, that I
And if
certainly
you don't have the answer,
know
right, you can
everything
find
about
out.
Reiki.
Right, you could find out. Right.
I
absolutely.
also want to state that I am also a Karuna Reiki practitioner, which is the quickest way for me to say it is compassion. I have the ability to heal a lot of emotional trauma.
Absolutely.
And I'm also a proud student of Crow's Path in the Lindenville area. I have some shamanic background, and I'm doing a lot of learning to bring what my soul already knows about shamanic healing, and that is really waking up inside of me. So I have a lot to share.
Absolutely, and you know, I know there's fans out there and there's people out there that do have a lot of questions for you.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's hard to just come in front of somebody and ask the question, whereas this way it's an opportunity to ask a question and not have to worry about saying who you are.
That is right, absolutely. Absolutely.
So again, the last few minutes I do want to reaffirm email and phone number. So my email is walklife, that's WALKLIFE @comcast.net. The Walking Through Life TV show page on Facebook, you can leave it there. You can also leave it on my profile, which is Linda Carbino, the last name spelled CARVINO. And if you don't feel comfortable with any of that, you can give me a call, leave me a message. The number is 802-295-0997. So Roxanne, thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you.
Look forward to the next show.
Always have a
And
good time.
we'll get some questions.
Sure.
And we'll set something up for January?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we want to say goodbye to the Walking Through Life audience, and we're waiting to hear from you, okay? You take care now. Bye-bye. You're going to wave bye?
Oh, sure, people. Goodbye.
There we
Looking
go.
forward to getting to know you all.
We're chilling.
Yeah,
Today's
we're
a chill
chilling.
day.
It's been a good day.
All right, see you later. Bye.
Walking through this life of mine, well, it's teaching me so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to